the United States has implemented a range of sanctions, tariffs, and regulatory measures aimed at slowing China's economic growth and technological advancements. Despite these efforts, China has continued to make substantial progress across various sectors, often reducing the impact of U.S. policies. With the election of President Trump, who has pledged to impose tariffs of up to 60% on Chinese goods, the pressure on China is set to intensify as 2024 concludes. In this video, we examine the broad scope of U.S. actions against China, sanctions, tariffs, and trade barriers, and explore how China has managed to overcome these challenges and emerge as a global leader. We focus on three key sectors where China has surpassed the U.S. in 2024, underscoring the nation's resilience and growing global influence. U.S. measures against China. The U.S. government's actions against China began during the Trump administration, with tariffs placed on over $200 billion worth of Chinese goods in response to what the U.S. deemed unfair trade practices. These tariffs have persisted and, in some cases, been expanded under subsequent administrations. Furthermore, the U.S. has restricted China's access to critical technologies, particularly in the semiconductor sector. Recent moves include a trade investigation into Chinese-made legacy semiconductors, which could lead to additional tariffs. A number of Chinese companies, particularly in tech and defense, have been sanctioned, limiting their operations within the U.S. financial system and restricting access to American technology. China's resilience and continued growth. Despite these economic pressures, China has shown remarkable resilience and has made significant strides across various sectors. China's economy has maintained a steady growth rate, often outpacing that of the United States. Between 2005 and 2020, China's GDP grew from 2.3 trillion to 4.9 trillion, and projections indicate that by 2030, China will surpass the U.S. as the world's largest economy, with an estimated GDP of $33.7 trillion compared to the U.S.'s $3.5 trillion. In 2023, China's GDP was revised upward by 2.7% to $17.7 trillion, reflecting stronger than expected growth of 5.2% compared to 3% in 2022. Despite challenges such as a downturn in the housing market and lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, China continues to implement measures that foster economic growth. Key sectors where China has surpassed the U.S. 1. Electric vehicle, EV, market leadership. The global electric vehicle, EV, market has undergone a dramatic transformation in recent years, with China emerging as the undisputed leader. In the early 2000s, the EV market was still in its infancy, with limited production and consumer interest. However, by the 2010s, models like the Nissan Leaf and Chevrolet Volt marked the beginning of widespread EV availability. The U.S. initially led the market, but by 2015, China's EV sales grew by an astonishing 238% from the previous year, propelling it to the top spot. This growth was fueled by government subsidies, infrastructure investments, and a rapidly expanding domestic market. By 2020, China accounted for a significant portion of global EV sales. In 2023, electric vehicles made up nearly 16% of global passenger car sales, with China maintaining dominance, constituting almost 40% of all new car sales. European manufacturers, particularly in Norway and Germany, have also increased their market share, with countries like Norway achieving over 90% EV market share. In the U.S., Tesla remains a dominant force, accounting for over 45% of all battery electric cars sold by 2023. Though its share in new U.S. electric car sales has declined from over 60% in 2020 to 45% in 2023, China's government has implemented several policies to promote EV adoption. These include subsidies to lower purchase prices, exemptions from license plate quotas and fees for EV owners, and significant investments in charging infrastructure to alleviate range anxiety and enhance the convenience of EV ownership. In conclusion, despite ongoing U.S. sanctions and tariffs, China continues to thrive, solidifying its position as a global leader in key sectors such as the EV market. These developments showcase China's economic resilience and its ability to adapt and grow amid external pressures, reinforcing its expanding influence on the global stage as 2024 draws to a close. China's electric vehicle EV sales are projected to hit approximately 12 million units, making up over half of global EV sales. This rapid growth is expected to continue, with forecasts indicating that EVs will soon outpace traditional internal combustion engine vehicles, putting China years ahead of Western markets in EV adoption. China is a dominant force in lithium-ion battery production, controlling over 70% of the global market share. Leading companies like CATL and BYD are at the forefront of battery technology innovation, focusing on reducing costs and enhancing performance. This leadership in battery manufacturing has played a key role in lowering EV prices and improving vehicle range, which in turn has fueled consumer adoption. In terms of exports, Chinese automakers are expanding aggressively into international markets, challenging established car manufacturers and reshaping the global automotive landscape. BYD in particular has made significant strides, expanding its sales and manufacturing footprint in Europe and Southeast Asia. In July 2024, BYD inaugurated a $486 million electric vehicle plant in Rayong, Thailand, with an annual production capacity of 150,000 vehicles and a workforce of around 10,000. This facility aligns with Thailand's goal to have 30% of its vehicle production be electric by 2030. The Thai government's subsidies and tax incentives have been pivotal in supporting BYD's expansion. Additionally, BYD plans to build an electric vehicle assembly plant in Cambodia, with a capacity of 20,000 units annually for both domestic and international markets. This initiative aligns with Cambodia's national electric vehicle policy for 2024 to 2030, which aims to increase the number of electric vehicles in the country by 2030. In Europe, BYD took another major step in July 2024 by signing a deal to build a $1 billion production plant in Turkey, with an annual capacity of 150,000 electric and hybrid vehicles. This facility is expected to start production by the end of 2026 and create up to 5,000 jobs. This strategic move will help BYD navigate potential tariffs imposed by the European Union on Chinese new energy vehicle imports, as Turkey has a customs union agreement with the EU. BYD's rapid international expansion is intensifying competition in the global automotive market. In Southeast Asia, BYD secured a dominant 47% market share in Q1 2024, which contributed to a 7% drop in sales of internal combustion engine vehicles. This growth is forcing traditional automakers like Honda and Nissan to rethink their strategies, with some even considering mergers to better compete with EV-focused companies like BYD. If you're enjoying the video, we'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button. Want to be even more helpful? Leave us a comment. Your feedback helps us reach a wider audience and improve our content. Thank you for your support. Now back to the discussion. When comparing China's EV market to the United States, the U.S. has experienced slower EV adoption. In Q3 2024, EVs made up 8.9% of new light-duty vehicle sales in the U.S., totaling 346,000 units. While this shows growth, it lags far behind China's EV market penetration. Several factors contribute to this disparity. 1. Policy differences. The U.S. government's support has been less comprehensive, with varying incentives across states and less aggressive national targets compared to China's unified approach. 2. Infrastructure development. The U.S. charging infrastructure is underdeveloped, which can deter potential EV buyers concerned about vehicle range and charging accessibility. Market dynamics. The U.S. has a strong legacy of internal combustion engine vehicles, and consumer preferences have been slower to shift toward EVs. Shipbuilding capacity. China has established itself as a global leader in shipbuilding, surpassing the United States and other nations in 2023. China's shipbuilding output reached 42.32 million deadweight tons, accounting for 50.2% of global production. This capacity allows China to produce a wide range of vessels, including bulk carriers, container ships, and LNG tankers, which has been essential in meeting global demand and securing its position as a dominant force in the maritime industry. In contrast, U.S. shipyards primarily focus on military vessels, resulting in limited commercial shipbuilding capacity. From 2000 to 2023, U.S. shipyards built fewer than 3 commercial ships per year on average, contributing to just 0.2% of global commercial shipbuilding output. Technological advancements. Chinese shipbuilders have embraced technological innovations such as modular construction and advanced automation, enabling faster production and cost efficiency. These advancements have helped China maintain its competitive edge in both the commercial and military shipbuilding sectors. Meanwhile, the U.S. faces challenges like outdated operating models and talent shortages, which have contributed to its share of global commercial shipbuilding declining from 5% in the 1970s to around 0.2% today. China's strategic importance in global industries. China's dominance in shipbuilding extends across both commercial and military sectors. The rapid expansion of its naval capabilities, including the construction of advanced vessels like aircraft carriers and destroyers, has raised global concerns. Beijing's shipyards are producing warships at an unprecedented rate, with China's Navy now operating more vessels over 1,000 tons than the United States Navy. Global market impact of China's shipbuilding dominance. China's shipbuilding expertise has captured a significant share of global orders. In 2024, Chinese shipyards receive nearly 75% of all new orders, amounting to 87.1 million DWT, marking a 52% increase from 2023. This dominance has created a supply chain dependency, as many nations rely on Chinese-made vessels for trade. In stark contrast, while China accounted for 50% of global shipyard output in 2023, the United States contributed only 0.2%. This gap highlights the difficulties the U.S. faces in revitalizing its shipbuilding industry, which struggles with labor shortages, outdated infrastructure, and a focus primarily on military vessels. Efforts to boost U.S. shipbuilding capacity are ongoing, but bridging the gap with China's advanced industry remains a significant challenge. China's leadership in autonomous vehicles. China has also emerged as a global leader in autonomous vehicle technology, particularly in urban centers. Major cities like Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen have established expansive testing zones for driverless cars, allowing companies to refine their technologies in real-world environments. By August 2024, China had issued 16,000 test licenses for driverless cars and opened approximately 20,000 miles of roads for autonomous vehicle testing. Companies such as Pony.ai, Baidu's Apollo, and AutoX have deployed robo-taxi fleets, completing millions of rides annually. Baidu's Apollo, for instance, launched its sixth-generation autonomous taxi, the RT6, priced under $30,000 thanks to a battery-swapping solution. This cost-effective Level 4 autonomous vehicle is enhancing the scalability of robotaxi services, with Apollo having provided nearly 1 million rides in Q3 2024 alone, totaling 8 million rides by year-end. Supportive government framework. China's government has implemented a unified policy framework to support the testing and deployment of autonomous vehicles, creating a favorable environment for innovation. This cohesive approach contrasts with the fragmented regulatory landscape in countries like the United States, where regulations are more scattered across federal, state, and local levels. In June 2024, the Chinese government selected 20 cities for a pilot program aimed at integrating autonomous vehicles with public transportation systems, improving urban mobility and reducing congestion. Challenges in the United States. In contrast, the United States has taken a more cautious approach to autonomous vehicle deployment, with a regulatory environment characterized by multiple layers of oversight. The U.S. Commerce Department has proposed banning Chinese software in autonomous and connected vehicles, citing national security concerns. This move could hinder the growth of AV companies operating in the U.S. The U.S. China trade and technology conflict. For several years, the United States has used a range of strategies, sanctions, tariffs, and export restrictions, to curb China's rise as a global superpower. However, these measures have often backfired, reinforcing China's resilience and fostering its growth in key sectors. Rather than succumbing to pressure, China has turned these challenges into opportunities for innovation, strengthening its domestic supply chains and investing heavily in industries like semiconductors, renewable energy, and advanced technologies such as AI, 5G, and EV manufacturing. Tariffs on Chinese goods aimed at protecting U.S. industries have often resulted in higher costs for U.S. businesses and consumers. Meanwhile, China has diversified its export markets and strengthened ties with emerging economies, mitigating the impact of these trade barriers. The uncertainty of Trump's trade policies. With the election of Donald Trump, known for his America First policies, there is renewed uncertainty about future U.S. China trade relations. Trump's campaign promises to reintroduce or expand tariffs on Chinese goods, signal a return to hardline tactics. However, it remains to be seen whether these measures will weaken China's position or, as in the past, accelerate its progress. Evidence from previous attempts suggests that such tariffs could inadvertently bolster China's self-reliance and innovation. This time, the stakes are higher for both nations. The U.S. risks alienating allies, straining supply chains, and exacerbating domestic economic pressures, while China will likely focus on cementing its global leadership in trade and technology. The world will watch closely as the long-term impact of these policies unfolds. Conclusion: the question remains, will the U.S. succeed in curbing China's momentum, or will history repeat itself, proving that such measures only strengthen China's resolve and competitiveness? Only time will tell. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to stay updated whenever we upload new content. We've also suggested some videos on the screen that you might find interesting. Be sure to check them out. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.